Misa and Dickinson pass their next test as the Sharks lose 2-1 to Vegas in the preseason.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making the Locked On Sharks your first listen, probably a part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do, just follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, we are doing a hotel lobby version of this game because, you know, the content machine never stops. So if you do hear some noises, etc., I apologize. We're doing this from the lobby of the hotel I'm staying at for my kids' soccer tournament this weekend. So, but I did want to kind of spend about 10-15 minutes talking about the game tonight as the Sharks fall 2-1 to the Vegas Golden Knights. We'll kind of talk about the good in this game. Misa, Dickinson, Askarov. We'll talk about the bad, which is the third period woes and the ugly Barclay, Goodrow, Dellandrea. I'm looking at you. Before we continue, of course, want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. All right, let's start with the good. Misa, Dickinson, both showing flashes tonight. I think Dickinson had the stronger game of the two between Misa and Dickinson. But we'll start with Misa, right? Who didn't get on the scoreboard, but you saw all those smart hockey IQ plays that are going to make him an NHL player as soon as this year, right? Talking about the back checks, the defensive awareness of being in the right positions at the right times, getting just kind of reading the plays well. You saw all those little plays. And while he hasn't been getting the production, right? I know, right? The points have not fallen for Misa yet. They will come if he continues to play this way, right? Like he's doing all these little things here that are positive now. Like that production is 100% going to come if he continues to play this way. And these, again, you always say with these young players, right? If you're not scoring, what else can you do for me? Misa's out there on the penalty kill late in the third period. I know they're trying to push for offense, but the fact that they're putting him out there in that situation, right? He's out there in the 6-on-5 at the end of the game. They're putting him in every possible position to succeed. And I think so far he is Misa's been answering all the questions. Chris Pashelka said it on Twitter, but next week's the big test as you start to see more NHL players in these preseason games, but he's passing all the tests that are in front of him so far. So as for Dickinson, I thought Dickinson had a really strong game tonight. You see a lot of like what makes him so special, but again, kind of the details in the defensive zone, using his size. Again, 6'3", 205 pounds. Just an absolute monster in his own zone. I thought Dickinson played strong again tonight. And you saw more pushing the offense from him. You saw some of the smart plays, right, where it's just like there was a play where he has the puck at the point. No, instead of trying to force something, he just kind of kicks it behind the net. Unfortunately, kicks it back behind the net to try to kind of get the cycle going again. Unfortunately, Vegas just kind of reads the play first. But just smart kind of veteran plays like that from a 19-year-old defenseman. I think Dickinson, again, next week is the big test as you start to see these preseason games ramp up a little bit. But Dickinson is doing exactly what you want him to do. We've seen the offensive production from him. We saw some nice shots on goal from Dickinson tonight. But he's doing everything you want. And that skating is so elite. And that's going to get him out of a lot of trouble right now while he still kind of figures things out. And you saw the size and him kind of willing to finish checks as well. I think Dickinson continues to play well. Other players who I thought really played well tonight, William Eklund looks like William Eklund again, where he's just, every time he's on the ice, he's noticeable. And again, you should see William Eklund should be noticeable in a game where it's basically, the Henderson Golden Knight or Silver Knights. He should be noticeable, but he was noticeable, had a great feed to Cardwell, who was unable to finish. We'll talk about Cardwell here in a second, but like Eklund was doing William Eklund things. Good to see that he's back to being William Eklund after that scary injury to his wrist this week or this summer. So good, just nice little box check for William Eklund. So, but Ethan Cardwell, I thought Cardwell had a kind of like Eklund, where every time he was on the ice, you noticed Cardwell doing things. He got promoted to go play with Wenberg and Eklund at one point. So good point in the third period. Really liked Cardwell's game, and it's unfortunate there's just such a log jam of these bottom six guys, because we'll talk about Goodrow and Dellandrea, but I would rather have Ethan Cardwell out there doing Ethan Cardwell things instead of having to watch Goodrow and Dellandrea do Goodrow and Dellandrea things, because I think Cardwell is just a more dynamic player. Yes, he doesn't have the experience of the other two guys, but he's just a much more dynamic player, and every time he's out there, he's making a positive impact. And he could have scored tonight, probably should have scored. He's just saving the goals for the regular season, guys. Just saving them for when it counts, hopefully. But I think of those guys, I think those were easily your top performers tonight, other than Askarov. We'll get to Askarov here in a minute, but I think those four of the skaters, I think, were your best ones. I thought also Orlov played really well tonight, had a goal as well. Just good to see, with him. And I thought Mukhamadullin, you can see how that pairing, I think, is going to be a really effective pairing. And it seems like Mukhamadullin is going to be given every opportunity to play these big time minutes that we've been kind of waiting for him to play. And, with Ferraro and Liljegren, I thought those guys had some, they were kind of paired up with the younger guys. Ferraro with Thompson, and then Liljegren with Dickinson, kind of more, especially Liljegren was kind of a more support role for Dickinson. But overall, I think the defense played pretty solid tonight. But the offense just couldn't get anything going, especially in the third period. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. But let's get to Askarov here in just a second. We'll talk about him. I thought he looked super sharp tonight, even though he gave up 2 goals. I thought Askarov looked like he was in midseason form already, which is a great sign for us Sharks fans. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. If your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. Player props, so maybe a Tua Tagovailoa interception against the Jets on Monday night feels pretty safe. Building the same game parlay, or even jumping into live action as the game unfolds. If you had, maybe the Seahawks to win on Thursday night, probably feeling pretty good right now. So it's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little bit more energy to Sundays. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. All right, before we continue / finish up this hotel version of Locked On Sharks, of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen every day. For your second listen, go find Locked On Fantasy Hockey. Steal and Flip provide daily fantasy tips to give you the edge over your league mates, all while making you a smarter hockey fan. Find Locked On Fantasy Hockey on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right. Askarov. So Askarov, I thought, looked super sharp tonight, which is good, right? You want Askarov to come in and win this job, right? We know that he's going to get the keys to the car, but you would like him to kind of come in and play very well. And I thought he did that tonight. So that's weird. It's not showing the 20, or I guess that's all situations. So, for Askarov, looking at his performance on natural stat trick, 2 goals given up on 29 shots. Expected goals against is 1.64, which is, right around there. High danger saves, he was 5 for 5, 6 of 6 of mid danger. It was the low danger, long distance shots where he just didn't see them coming through there, especially the one on the power play from Vegas, or right after the one on the power play that gave him the 2-1 lead. Just didn't really see it coming through. So in Vegas, they always do a good job of screening, but I thought Askarov looked really good. He's going to give you gray hairs playing the puck, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to work out in favor of San Jose. So good debut from Askarov tonight. So, which is what we'd love to see. The bad third period woes continue to crop up for San. And again, like, I know you don't have Celebrini and Smith and Toffoli and like Skinner. Like, I know it's Eklund and Misa are kind of your only 2 guys who you project to be in the top 6 out there. But you can't take 5 shot attempts in a game that you're down by a goal for a good chunk of the third period. 5 shot attempts at 5-on-5 by San Jose. I mean, 3 scoring chances, but you took 5 shot attempts. So not great there from San Jose. Very much mid-season form from them to just have such a inability to get the puck on net, right? And those are the issues that cropped up last year, right? With all these losses from the Sharks, where they just couldn't get shots on goal, and couldn't finish leads or like hold on to leads, but getting 3 shots on goal in the third period total, while Vegas has 11, despite them being up, by a goal for the last 15 minutes. Not a great look. And again, I know it's a very AHL heavy roster tonight, but not like definitely was definitely a bit of a struggle there. So, some of the other things I thought, just kind of the bad part, I thought Bisa did a really quiet game tonight, unfortunately. From him, like, we know he's going to be playing in the AHL this season, at least to start, but would have been nice to kind of see him step into, kind of just a little bit more noticeable tonight. I thought Igor Chernyshov was also extremely quiet tonight as well. There was end of the second, beginning of the third, just kind of nowhere to be found from him. I thought he was extremely quiet tonight, and especially when you're playing with Misa on that line, and you saw that line kind of get all the lines got jumbled up in the third period, where the Sharks, unfortunately, again, not able to get any sort of offense going from them. But I do I thought those 2 players really kind of stood out for me quiet wise, like just not anything there. Musty, I'll put in the good. I thought he played pretty well tonight. Did have a costly penalty that kind of killed a power play. Even though, the power play was almost over, but having that slashing penalty. But he was doing, he did a really good, really nice job on the Orlov goal of getting that screen in front. Like you saw, anytime Musty was kind of setting up front, the Sharks were usually in a good opportunity to score there. So I still think Musty starts in the AHL, but I think Musty had a pretty solid night tonight. The ugly, Barclay, Goodrow, and Dellandrea, and both of them 2 penalties tonight. And I know, keep in mind with the preseason where officiating is different. They're going to be very preseason and early in the season. You're going to see officials be very ticky-tacky on certain things, whatever they're kind of quote unquote emphasizing for that year. They're going to be very ticky-tacky on some of those things. But I do think that you can't have 4 penalties between those two guys, right? Uh, like, yes, Goodrow set up Cardwell for a really nice, opportunity that Cardwell just wasn't able to bury coming out of the penalty. But like, you can't put that team in that situation, right? Especially for veterans like Dellandrea and like Goodrow, you cannot put the team in those type of situations. I thought that those guys is just like, you can deal with one, whether it's Goodrow or Dellandrea, but having them both be like that, this is like, I would rather have, again, Ethan Cardwell out there doing Ethan Cardwell things and deal with young player mistakes than veterans making those type of mistakes so yeah, just tough night for both Goodrow and yeah, like, Goodrow got a slashing, Goodrow got an elbowing. Dellandrea, I know that was it was, he took somebody with him, but then the hold, like, you just don't need to hold there, like, just not a good night from those guys bottoms, if you're in bottom six, right? Because your bottom six is supposed to kind of hold the fort down, and they definitely lost the battle tonight, for but other than that, I mean, again, tough, just disappointing to not be able to see the San Jose to generate any sort of offense in the third. But Askarov looked great tonight. Misa Dickinson continued to do Misa Dickinson things. Eklund kind of checking that box of return from his injury. So the good news is now San Jose got another game on Monday against the Ducks down in Anaheim. So I'm hoping we see Celebrini make his preseason debut, and we get to see. I assume Dickinson, Misa will continue to be in these preseason games, but we'll see. So we'll have a new episode for you on Sunday night, Monday morning. So make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until Sunday night. Bye, friends.